The new Premier League season is right round the corner, so you know the drill, guys. It is time to do my Premier League 2026-27 predictions. Now, I'll put the what I predicted last season on the screen just there. You can see it right there, guys. And there were some absolute bad ones in there. Tottenham, Nottingham Forest were the main two, I'd say. For Sunderland probably as well. West Ham, they didn't. Obviously, they got relegated in the end. Yeah, it was pretty grim. Liverpool, that was a big fall off. Yeah, I only got two correct out of a possible 20. So, yeah. Maybe you shouldn't really trust me on predictions, but I'm going to give you them anyway. So, yeah, let's get in to the 2026-27 Premier League predictions. So, yeah, same as last time, guys. Obviously, we're on 1 to 20 here, and we're going to start from the bottom all the way to the top, just to keep the suspense, so to speak. So, in 20th place, I don't think this should come to any surprise whatsoever. Hull. Now, obviously, the badge might be a little bit small for you guys, but yeah, Hull. But let's be real. They've got a championship team. They've finished like what? In the championship last season, they finished like 6th, I believe it was. Which, yeah, considering that, but let's have a look. They finished in 6th, with only 2 points out of Wrexham, who finished 7th. They were miles off of Middlesbrough and Southampton, who finished in 4th and 5th. Like, it was shocking how on earth they've managed to get up. And the fact that they got, well, they somehow managed to beat Millwall, which, fair play to them, I'll give them that. They beat Millwall 2-0. But then the whole situation with Southampton, they're getting kicked out the playoffs, and then they faced Middlesbrough in the final, and they beat Middlesbrough 1-0. Oh, thanks to Ollie McBurney. I don't know how Hull did it, but they did. And looking at their goal difference, they +4. Only they conceded 66 goals. That's the most goals conceded by any of the three promoted teams. Genuinely, they conceded more goals than teams like Preston, who finished in 14th, Stoke, that finished in 17th, Charlton, who finished in 19th. They even conceded more goals than Oxford, who got relegated to League One. You know how mental that is. They only conceded 2 less than Leicester as well, who also got relegated to League One. But it just doesn't bode well, does it, for Hull? It really doesn't. And the signings they made, I mean, not really anything special. I mean, Leon Bailey's probably the standout signing they've made, but come on, they're going down, let's be real. And then in 19th, they've sort of alongside Hull, I'm going with Ipswich. Oh, I'm sorry, but Kieran McKenna's left. If Kieran McKenna was still there, then maybe I'd give Ipswich a bit more of a chance. But yeah, it's just a pretty like a championship team almost that they have Ipswich, and I just struggle to see how they're going to stay up with Gary O'Neill. I mean, Gary O'Neill was probably a big part as to why Wolves got relegated last season, which, yeah, was. I mean, of course, you blame it on the players and stuff, but the start that they had, Wolves pretty much set them off to get relegated. So, yeah, I think something similar will happen here with Ipswich, and I wouldn't be surprised if Gary O'Neill was sacked by Christmas. And then in 18th, I hate to say it, but it's going to be the 3 promoted teams, and Coventry are going to be in 18th. Yeah, they definitely have the best chance of the lot, because obviously they stormed the championship last season. Coventry did very, very well under Frank Lampard, and yeah, they've got some decent players in there, but the question is, are they going to be able to adapt to the Premier League? Well, I'm not really so sure on that, so Coventry will have the best chance to stay up, 100%. I could see it going to the final day with them, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they're not going to have enough quality to be able to stay in the division. Just avoiding relegation, I've got Fulham. Now, of course, they've lost quite a few of their players over the summer. Even their manager, Marco Silva, he's gone to Benfica. But they brought in Arbeloa from after his pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty troubled time at Real Madrid, that has to be said. So, is he going to be setting too much of high standards there? Who knows? I mean, they've also lost Raul Jimenez. He's gone back to Wolves. Harry Wilson, he's went over to Leeds. So yeah, they've lost a few key players at Fulham. So I feel like they are definitely going to struggle in that sense. And then speaking of teams that have lost a lot of key players, Newcastle will finish 16th. Now, I know they've brought in a lot of young players, but I just don't see, like, they're going to have to adapt very quickly. Those young players that Newcastle have brought in, and of course, we can't forget the fact that Anthony Gordon's left them, who scored a lot of goals for them, especially in the Champions League, but they got no European football to think about this season, Newcastle. But yeah, they've lost Anthony Gordon, they've lost Bruno Guimaraes, and they've lost Sandro Tonali. That is 3 of their big name players who have left. They have lost arguably the main core of their team. Of course, Kieran Trippier's also left to go to Wolves. Eddie Howe has been sacked recently, and they brought in Matthias Jesler, I believe his name, how you pronounce his name. But will he be able to steady the ship at Newcastle? I'm not so sure. I mean, it might be a bit of a transitional period for Newcastle. They're quite lucky, I feel like, that the 3 promoted teams aren't exactly the strongest. Because if they were like any, like, say if it was like Southampton or like Millwall had came up and whatever, then yeah, I feel like Newcastle would be in a little bit more trouble. Because, yeah, they haven't really replaced those players that they've lost quite well. I mean, yeah, they've brought in that, what's his name? The guy they brought in from Ajax. Oh, I forgot his name, but yeah, they brought him in from Ajax. They also brought in Toure from Hoffenheim, I believe it was. But yeah, again, young players that are pretty unproven at the top level. So it remains to be seen if they can really help Newcastle. But yeah, I just don't think they'll be able to, so they'll finish 16th. In 15th place, I've gone with Leeds. Now, yeah, this is mainly down to the fact that, yeah, Daniel Farke, I feel like that is probably his ceiling with Leeds, I've got to be honest, and with the squad they have as well. I feel like that is kind of their ceiling. I mean, there was rumours that Rafael Leao got offered to Leeds, and I just can't believe that. I mean, if he had went to Leeds, then, yeah, I feel like they would go up the table a lot more. But they have brought in Harry Wilson, so maybe he could provide a bit of quality for Leeds, but I don't know, to be honest. I just feel like this is the ceiling for Daniel Farke, in my opinion anyway. So, yeah, Leeds fans, if you're not happy with that, then I apologise. But, yeah, at the end of the day, this is my opinion. Of course, you can leave your opinions in the comment section below, and if you support any of the teams, or you just want to leave an opinion anyway to say how bad these predictions are by me, then go ahead. But yeah, Leeds in 15th for me. In 14th, they're going to have a bit of a fall off this season, Sunderland. Now, obviously, a lot of people predicted last season that Sunderland would go down, which was probably fair to say, because obviously they went through the playoffs and everything like that, but obviously the signings they made, bringing in Xhaka, well, the likes of Xhaka, yeah, it obviously helped them quite a lot, and then yeah, they finished in 7th, which was absolutely unbelievable. First season back in the Premier League for like 10 years, and they did that. Like, it was absolutely insane. Fair play to them. But I feel like with the struggle of European football, like, obviously they're going to have to balance Premier League and Europa League football this season, Sunderland, so I feel like that might take a little hit on them, and they might, I feel like they will drop down the table because of that. I mean, it really does depend on how far they go in the Europa League. If they go quite far, then maybe they could even drop a bit further down to maybe like 15th. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they haven't really brought many signings in as well. I mean, there were links that they were interested in the Methali, or however you pronounce his name, the Toulouse left back, but nothing's happened from that as of yet. I know they've had a few departures as well, Sunderland, so yeah, they haven't had the like most mind-blowing window ever, so it remains to be seen if they can actually like make a charge to like sustain like where they finished last season. But no, I feel like they will struggle to, kind of similar how Nottingham Forest struggled when they had European football. I feel like Sunderland will suffer the same fate, and they'll plummet down the table a little bit. No need to fear about relegation or anything like that, but I just feel like with the consequences of having to juggle European football as well, I feel like they will drop down the table a bit. So yeah, in 13th place, I'll go with Crystal Palace. They're only just going to finish ahead of Sunderland, purely because Palace have been in Europe before, so that they're going to be able to be used to be able to like deal with like all the fixtures coming every 3 days, etc., etc. So yeah, with Crystal Palace, of course, a bit of a transitional period with them. They've obviously Glasner left them to go to Forest, who we'll mention later on in the video, and as well, obviously, brought in Pierre Sage. I can't remember who he was managing, but he was managing some team in France. They've also lost Maxime Lacroix. He's gone to Chelsea. I'm surprised Adam Wharton hasn't left them yet. I mean, with all the hype that he's had in recent times, I'm surprised he's still at Crystal Palace. Mateta's still there, so that's a huge bonus for Palace as well. But yeah, I just feel like with a lot of teams having Europe this season, I feel like a lot of them might struggle to like juggle it. But Palace about mid-table feels like it makes sense. And then in 12th, I've got Nottingham Forest. Of course, it's a transition period for them under Glasner. I mean, who knows with Marinakis being in charge of Forest, who knows if Glasner's even going to stay for that long. But yeah, of course, it'll be a transitional period for Forest, of course, getting used to Glasner's tactics, etc., etc. They have made a very, very good signing in Ousmane Diomande from Sporting Lisbon. Very good signing indeed, the young Ivorian centre-back. Very good signing indeed, and I feel like he will do quite well for Forest. But yeah, I still feel like it'll be a massive transition period for Forest under Glasner. And yeah, we'll have to see how they do. In 11th place, I've got Bournemouth. Now, of course, they've lost Iraola due to the factor of, well, obviously he's gone to Liverpool. And then, yeah, the Krupi's going to be out injured for the start of the season. He had like a broken foot, something like that. Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth just continue to do quite well, but I feel like where they finished last season in the Europa League in 6th, I feel like that was probably their ceiling. And again, similar to Sunderland and Crystal Palace, I feel like they might struggle a bit to cope with the amount of fixtures that they're going to have to be playing next season. Of course, again, it depends on how far they go in the tournament, but obviously in the league phase, you've got like 8 games already, and then if you get into the playoffs, then that's another 2 games. So yeah, it's a pretty difficult. It will be a pretty difficult season for Bournemouth, but I still feel like they'll be able to cope just all right. In 10th place, I've got Brentford. Now, yeah, I'm surprised Igor Thiago's still there, to be brutally honest. I thought maybe one of the big clubs might have been sniffing about for him, whether that's in the Premier League or in Europe. I feel like, because obviously he had a very good season last time out. He was one of the, I think he was the second top goal scorer in the Premier League last season, only behind Haaland. So yeah, Brentford continuing to do quite well. They have lost a bit of leadership with Jordan Henderson though, so obviously that is going to affect them a bit, but I still back Brentford to do decently well. Mid-table finish for them. And then in 9th place, I have got Tottenham. Now, under De Zerbi, surely they're going to improve. I mean, the signings they've made are pretty decent as well. Tonali, Mateus Fernandes, pretty decent signings overall, but obviously they have lost like Christian Romero. He's gone to Atletico Madrid. Who else have they lost? Well, Kolo Muani's left on his loan, but I don't think many Tottenham fans liked Kolo Muani or Romero, to be honest. Van de Ven signed a new contract for Tottenham as well. Jed Spencer's going into Milan, so that'll be a bit of a loss for them as well. But they've managed to keep a hold of Pedro Porro. They've also, obviously, Madison's coming back to fitness as well, so that'll be nice for Tottenham as well, see if he can get a full season under his belt. And yeah, I don't think De Zerbi will allow Tottenham to have another shocking season again. Yeah, surely they can't finish like in a relegation scrap with 3 seasons in a row. Surely not. If that happens, then I'll be stunned. And then of course they've got Xavi Simons to come back from his ACL injury as well. So yeah, once he's back in the team, then Tottenham they have a pretty decent squad. It has to be said, they have a pretty decent squad. Oh, and I forgot to mention they signed Van Hecker from Brighton as well, so that's a very good addition as well. Robertson can play at left back, good addition as well, a bit of experience. So yeah, I think Tottenham will do well, but I think they will just miss out on Europe. In the 8th position, I've gone with Brighton. Again, Brighton just always seem to be very consistently finishing in the top half of the table. And Fabian Hürzeler, he's a very good manager. Yes, they've lost goals and Danny Welbeck. Of course, he got quite a few goals last season for Brighton. First season, he got double figures, I believe. Yeah, he's gone to Chelsea, so yeah, they're obviously going to be lacking in a bit of goals, but you just know Brighton will be fine. They'll find some random guy from the middle of nowhere, and yeah, he'll end up becoming the next £100 million player. Guaranteed. So yeah, Brighton, they'll be all fine. In 7th place, I've got Everton. I feel like they're going to have a very good season. Yes, under Moyes, obviously they are quite more defensive focused, so maybe they might not like get a lot of goals. But Ndiaye, he is a very good player, and I even seen their pre-season game against Newcastle yesterday, as of the time recording this, and yeah, he was one of the star players, 100%. They've also got like James Garner, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, Barry, if he can have a decent season, better off the bench. It's a decent Everton team, it really is, and I feel like this is the time where they can actually start to think about Europe again. In 6th place, a little bit of a drop-off, Aston Villa. Now, yeah, of course, they finished in the Champions League spots last season, but obviously they have lost Morgan Rogers, which is going to be a massive blow to them. Lucas Digne's left them as well to go back to PSG. So yeah, it is going to be a massive loss to, well, particularly Rodgers. It will be a massive loss to Aston Villa. They have signed Garnacho, but let's be real, Garnacho is nothing special. He's very overrated. And yeah, I don't really see much from Garnacho improving Aston Villa. They still do have Ollie Watkins, so there is that, but yeah, and obviously they've lost Tielemans as well, forgot to mention that. They lost Yuri Tielemans. He went to Man United. So yeah, they've lost quite a few key players, Aston Villa, and with the transfer window still open, who knows, maybe they might lose some other key players. You might, like Emi Martinez, for example, he's been linked with like Juventus. So you never know, maybe they might lose their top goalkeeper, and if that was to happen, then I probably would say Villa would drop down the table a little bit more. But yeah, I feel like for now, anyway, as of the 13th of August, I'd say that Unai Emery will still be able to get Aston Villa Europe. Now, in 5th place, this might come to a shock to some of you, Man City. Now, hear me out. I know they still have Haaland, but think about it. Pep's gone. This is the first time in 10 years that Man City don't have Pep Guardiola at the wheel. They've got Enzo Maresca, who, of course, he's similar to Pep, but he's not like at that level of Pep, if you know what I mean. And yeah, he's... I don't know what to think about Maresca, because obviously at Chelsea he did a decentish job, but didn't really set the world alight. And then, yeah, of course, Man City, they've still got Haaland, but they've lost like John Stones. Rodri could still potentially leave and go to Barcelona. Obviously, that's still up in the air as of the time of recording this. But yeah, I just feel like they're going to be in for a big amount of changes. Well, a transitional period, Man City. So I feel like they are going to drop down the table a little bit, but I'm pretty sure 5th is going to get your Champions League football still, based on the UEFA coefficient thing, so yeah, I feel like City will still get Champions League football, mainly because of Haaland. But if like the likes of Foden can have a better season, of course Cherky, he was immense in his first season at City. Semenyo, if he can continue on where he left off last season, Guehi as well, top tier signing. But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like especially if Rodri goes, which I fully expect to happen, then I believe City will finish in the 5th position, because it's a massive transitional change for them. To lose Pep Guardiola, it's a massive change, a really massive change. And obviously under new management with Maresca, yes, he might be similar to Pep in terms of play style and everything like that, but it's a different man in the building, and he's going to have his own ways of doing things. So yeah, I feel like it is going to be a transitional period for Man City, so I feel like they are going to drop down into the 5th position. Making up the top 4 now, I've got Liverpool in 4th. Under Iraola, I feel like they will make a slight bit of an improvement under him, but yeah, obviously they do have, obviously they've lost Salah, he's gone to a Turkish league. Ekitike is still injured at the minute, but for the time being, they've still got like Isaac, they've got Vert, both of them I expect to have better seasons than what they did last time out. Of course, Cody Gakpo might still get games for Liverpool. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, Van Dijk's still pretty solid for them at the back. Frimpong, I expect him to have a better season this time out. Alisson's still in between the sticks. They've also signed Ronald Araujo on loan from Barcelona for the season, so be interesting to see how he gets on. Of course, Jacques as well, the young French centre-back. Maybe him and Araujo will be swapping game time. If Chiesa can get some game time, of course, the main man last season for Liverpool was Szoboszlai. So if he can have a similar season to last season, then Liverpool could probably get a bit further up the table, especially if the likes of Isaac and Wirtz perform this season. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But for now, I've got Liverpool in the 4th position. But, of course, with the transfer window still open, you don't know who they could recruit. In third place, I've got Man United. Now, yeah, I feel like this, under Michael Carrick especially, they've been doing very well. And yeah, with like Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, and Mbeumo, it's a very solid forward line. Rashford coming back into the mix for Man United as well. Maybe he could get the odd bit of games as well. I'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, I just feel like Man United are building something quite special at the minute. Romans in goal. They got two very good opening fixtures as well against Hull and Ipswich. So yeah, obviously that will help them to start off the season. But yeah, I just feel like the Man United are going in the right places. Of course, signing Yuri Tielemans as well. That's a very good addition. And yeah, I just feel like Man United are going to do quite well again this season and getting into third position. Now, second, I'm going to give this to Chelsea. So you probably can tell who I've put to win the league. But yeah, Chelsea, they're looking good. Under Xabi Alonso, I expected a lot of big things because obviously you got to remember, yes, Xabi Alonso, he didn't really have the greatest of times at Real Madrid, but when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, the team they had there was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, they won the league, for God's sake, which is an absolutely unthinkable achievement when winning the league in the Bundesliga when your name isn't Bayern Munich. That is an achievement in and itself. Obviously, with the system Alonso likes to play, three at the back. Of course, they've brought in like the likes of Roquois, Morgan Rogers, who I feel like Palmer and Rogers are going to have a very good seasons, I feel like, but Palmer especially is going to have a better season than what he had last time out. They've obviously brought in some experience as well in Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson. Whether they'll get much game time remains to be seen, but yeah, they will have a bit of an experience in the dressing room and be able to have a bit of leadership in there. We had João Pedro, expecting to have another good season for Chelsea as well. Yeah, Chelsea are looking pretty solid. I have to admit, Reece James is in there. If they can keep over to Enzo Fernandez, he might have a decent season for them. Caicedo, very good midfielder as well. They're building something now, Chelsea. It's not just them signing all these random youngsters and then hoping maybe in the future they could sell them for profit. No, they're actually building something under Xabi Alonso, and keep an eye out for them because I feel like they obviously, with them not having any European football, I feel like they could really cause a threat to the Premier League title race. But as you can tell, the winner, who I believe will be the winner this season, Arsenal, they'll retain their title. I just feel like no team is really keeping up with them. It feels like a lot of teams are getting weaker. Like a Man City, who were obviously Arsenal's closest challenger last season. They've gotten weaker and may even continue to get weaker with obviously the whole Rodri situation. But yeah, Arsenal, I feel like they've improved. Of course, they've brought in Zolas from Club Brugge. They've also brought in Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. Yeah, they're making moves, Arsenal, and yeah, I just don't feel like any other team is better than them at the moment. On paper, at least, anyway. Time will tell whether, of course, they actually, like, crumble or whatever. But yeah, I feel like there's no better team at the minute in the Premier League than Arsenal. They're just, like I said, it feels like every other team is somewhat either stagnating or slightly improving or declining. But Arsenal, they just keep improving. So yeah, I just feel like that's going to be... Arsenal are the team to beat, basically. That's the way I see it. Arsenal are the team to beat. But if this table was to happen in real life, I feel like obviously Chelsea would give Arsenal a run for their money. But yeah, I feel like Arsenal are still just too strong. Of course, that back line, Gabriel, Saliba. You've also got, obviously, if the attack can have a better year, like Gyökeres, Saka. I mean, it's hard to really... if Eze can have a decent season, maybe if Odegaard can find his best form again. Of course, the midfield for Arsenal's stacked. You got to think about it. I mean, Guimaraes, Rice, Odegaard, Eze. It's absolutely stacked, their midfield. So yeah, I just don't really see anybody being able to really compete with Arsenal. Well, I feel like they're the team to beat. And yeah, that's my Premier League predictions for the season, guys. Let me know your predictions in the comments section below. Oh, I should probably mention, I feel like the Golden Boot will probably still go to Haaland, even though City might fall off a bit. He'll just still be able to score a load of goals. But yeah, let me know your predictions in the comment section below, guys, and whether you think my predictions are decent or if they're absolutely crap. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching the video, and if you've enjoyed, feel free to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you for the next one.